Alright guys, Spiffy here. Welcome back, and today let's talk about the Makita 5800 gasoline chainsaw. If you're an old subscriber, you'd probably noticed I'm now usually away from the keyboard most of the time, still doing home renovations. It's because Typhoon Odette left us with so many branches and uprooted trees in our yard, and we find it very hard to clear all of them using just an axe and a bolo. I need a chainsaw. I calculated my way out of this mess. Then I realized that the cost of renting a chainsaw from our local community is around 3,000 pesos, almost around 60 US dollars a day, which probably be more if I include my sister's two other lots in our area. It's just so impractical. If I could just buy a cheap but functional chainsaw for home use, I can solve the clearing operations. And also, with the prices of LPG going up because of the Russia-Ukraine war, another problem would be solved. I'm just making an excuse. With this purchase, I can experience in real life one of the most iconic secret weapon in Silent Kill. But here's the thing, I have no time to go to a physical store in the city and I don't know what to buy. But here's what I know. The best place to buy quality items, especially if you have no idea what you're doing, is from a mall accredited flagship store. In this case, from Shopee, since they have cheaper shipping options than Lazada. Shopee Mall sellers are Shopee accredited sellers. Sellers here are guaranteed to be selling quality items that you can return within 7 days if an issue occurs. Well, you can always return items even if it's not from a Shopee Mall. However, in Shopee Mall, it would be easier. Remember this? After searching for a while, I found a Makita. It says original. It must be true, right? I picked the smallest variety since I only need it for home use. Our seller is called Super Tools PH. They are also selling power tools and other home improvement stuff. They gave this 6 months of warranty. According to the seller, this is model 5800, but I could not verify this with the official Makita website. Something's fishy here. A closer look at the notable specs listed by the seller. A screaming scam alert is ringing in my ears. Let's take a look at the reviews first. The ratio seems good. Oh, the packaging is awful, but the buyer seems to like it. Here, a buyer said it's cute. Wow, I'm definitely gonna have it. I'll be one of those few owners of a cute chainsaw. And what about the 4-star? I hate reviewers like this. Is it so hard to rate and comment? Your review is useless. I was thinking this is definitely a China Makita knockoff. An original China Makita knockoff. Very big risk, but since this is from Shopee Mall, I can always return this very easily if I'm not satisfied. The price is also very competitive. I originally budgeted around 15,000 pesos or around 300 US dollars for a chainsaw. So if I'm not satisfied, I'll definitely return this and buy an expensive one. And lastly, someone said it's cute. So now let's check out my very first chainsaw, the original Makita 5800 gasoline chainsaw. Let's do this. Here's my new Makita 5800 gasoline chainsaw. 5800 China gasoline chainsaw. The box weighs around 23 kilos. The order total for the 20-inch variety including shipping is only 2,592 pesos or around 50 US dollars. It has a very thin bubble wrap, no indicator of which side is up, no fragile sign. I bet the insides are also not padded. Wow, the box is standing on its side all this time. There's probably something broken inside. And the box has no Makita label, solidifying my theory that this is not original. This is also labeled 62cc instead of 58cc as described by the seller. What's inside the box? A total mess. I wonder what's broken. First to come out, a plastic fuel mixing canister. The engine needs a gasoline mixed in with a tutti motor oil. The ratio is 25 parts gasoline and 1 part tutti oil. Next, a 20-inch cupboard. A guide bar. A set of tools. A front guard or chain brake handle cover. Then our main dish, the 5800 gasoline chainsaw body. I almost forgot the manual. And yeah, the chain was hidden in the pile of plastics. And now let's go back to the toolkit pouch. We have bumper spikes, a couple of hex screws for the bumper spikes, 2 sizes of Allen keys, a T-wrench, a sharpening chain file, and a flathead screwdriver. First is to mount the bumper spikes using the provided hex screws and Allen key. Next is to remove the 2 nuts in order to install the guide bar and chain. Here we can see the chain sprocket. The chain will run along this area. The chain should be installed like this. Most newbies fail to do this properly. Here's a closer look at the guide bar. It has a space in between for the chain to run. It also has a sprocket in front. Most people will install the guide bar first. It can be done either way. Next is to align the chain to the guide bar. Then pull the guide bar forward to tighten the chain. Here's a closer look at the chain brake handle / cover. Here you can find the chain tensioner screw for easy chain tension adjustments. Next is to cover the assembly. I temporarily hand tightened 2 nuts in place. If you peek at the bottom, the tensioner screw should be aligned to one of the holes of the guide bar. The flathead screwdriver is needed to adjust the tensioner screw to align it to the hole. Once aligned, there should be no gap as shown. The T-wrench is needed to tighten the nuts. If your chain is sagging, simply pull the guide bar forward, then continue with the wrench. A super loose chain can cause serious accidents or a damaged guide bar. On the other side, a super tight chain can cause the chainsaw to heat up faster. After the nuts are tightened, you can use the tensioner screw to make little tension adjustments. Now that it's assembled, let's take a closer look at the basic parts that I think is very important for beginners like me. On the top, we can find the air filter cleaner and the spark plug. The choke knob. On the rear handle, we have the throttle interlock, the throttle trigger, and the throttle lock button. Here, the engine switch, the fuel tank, the oil tank, and finally the starter knob. Like other gasoline chainsaws, our engine is designed to run on a mixture of gasoline and 2T motor oil. The manual has a lengthy article about this. I just follow what's on the canister. I have here a liter of unleaded gasoline and a 200 ml bottle of Shell 2T oil. We need to fill the canister up to 576 ml of gasoline, and then the remaining is 2T oil till it reaches 600 ml. Yeah, let's give this baby her first taste of mixed gasoline. I know, a funnel should have been part of the plan. Be warned, newbies, the 2T motor oil is different from a chain oil, so never put a 2T oil in the oil tank. The 2T oil is only for mixing with gasoline, and it should be in the fuel tank. For the chain oil, I'm using canola oil. It's not only good for your health, it's also good for your chainsaws. And it's cheaper too. A chainsaw can be very dangerous if not handled properly. Common accidents, especially for newbies, are kickbacks. Kickback is a term to describe the unexpected upward motion of the guide bar, and it occurs when the end portion of the nose of the guide bar, the kickback zone, strikes an object and the chain momentarily snags or pinch. Please, before using, it is highly recommended to check the most important safety feature against kickback if it is functional or not. This is the front guard or a chain brake handle. Pull the front guard back to release the chain. Snap the front guard forward to lock the chain. Here's to simulate a realistic kickback scenario. Though you may see experienced users start it while standing up, newbies like us should better be safe than sorry. I highly recommend starting it on the ground with one foot on the unit to make it stable. Lock the throttle trigger. Pull the choke knob. Turn on the engine switch. Step on the bottom of the rear handle. Pull the starter knob. If you felt the engine ignited or burp, push the choke knob back in. Caution newbies, you are probably familiar with this if you own a motorcycle. During a cold start, or when starting an engine that is new, or when starting an engine that has not been used in a while, you need to choke it before starting it up. It means to give a richer mixture of fuel to the engine to give it a boost. In starting chainsaws, when you hear a burping sound after you pull the starter knob, it means the engine has already ignited. You need to push back the choke knob in order not to flood the engine. Flooded engine means it will never start. You need to wait 15 to 30 minutes at least, probably more, for the engine to dry and try again. On the other side, if a chainsaw is hot or it is just recently used, just like a few hours before, you don't need to choke it. For the starts, pull the throttle trigger to take control. Now, let's check the front guard safety feature. It freaking works! And finally, since I'm quite aware of my physical limitations and capabilities, I am gonna ask help from the neighbors. The teacher in me is kicking in, and this is also their first time using a chainsaw. I think they love it. Typhoon Odette left some good logs at the backyard. And also in front. I think I can also use this for the plants. And this is gonna be a few months of old school dirty kitchen cooking. This would be great since the LPG prices are going up. And since I'm also a newbie, I'm gonna look at it with a newbie's perspective. First, it cuts good. It works and it didn't stall. It didn't overheat. Second, it's dirt cheap. As I've googled, most chainsaw I saw they called cheap is almost $100. I got mine for $50. And third, I was intimidated at first on the assembly, but actually it is very easy to install. Fourth, it is economical. A liter of gasoline was more than enough to clear out our yard, and we did it in half a day. Pila naman ta? Number 5, the manual is also very detailed and the seller is very responsive to questions. 6, 6 months of supplier warranty. It is enough for a very cheap chainsaw. And lastly, for me, this is the best option for home use. So the bad part, the packaging was awful. I'm very lucky I got no missing or broken parts. Then the parts are mostly plastic, which is in some cases good because it is not that heavy to carry. And some other parts though can be improved, like the grip and the brake handle. It should be rubberized. A knockoff labeled as original is deceitful and misleading, and that's really bad. And finally, I don't recommend this if you plan on using this for commercial use. Most people might dismiss this purchase as garbage. For me, it's definitely worth the price and it definitely served its purpose. My area was cleared from logs and I have fuel for cooking. This option is much better than renting a chainsaw, that's for sure. And lastly, all I can say is that even if you feel super masculine and confident that you can do everything with your super manliness, if this is your first time using a chainsaw, I tell you that that intimidating buzzing chain sound can make you a little boy again. Well, just work safely, common sense, because a chainsaw can cut flesh real bad. And that's my take on the Makita 5800 Gasoline Chainsaw, the original. If you made it this far, thank you very much. Salamat po. You can also show your support by hitting the like, commenting down below, or much better, subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, see you on the next one. God bless.